When I started high school, it was a whole new world because I didn't really meet people that were like me. I went to an all-white conservative high school where I could count on my fingers how many black people were in my graduating class. I spent 4 years at a place where half the time I was there and the other half I was wearing a mask. The first 2 years was where I was wearing the mask. I didn't want them to cast me as the stereotypical black girl, so I pushed everything that made me away. I dressed a different way, talked a different way, and acted a different way. So at this point, I had become somewhat popular. People would talk to me, they invited me places, and from the outside, and it looked like I fit in. But me and the people that I hung around, we never really talked about real things. We talked about things like what dress we wore to homecoming, or who liked who, or parties and the big football and basketball games. But then the summer before my junior year came, and I became invested in starting to love myself. On Twitter, I came across many unapologetically black people. I came across black women loving their skin tone, their bodies, and hair. So I started to do the same thing. I started to fall in love with myself. I stopped wearing makeup and cut all my hair off to show that my natural state was beautiful. I started to love me and my people. And in the process, I became aware of how much this country hates and oppresses black people. When I came back to school for my junior year, I started to sit down for the Pledge of Allegiance, and that was when I started to lose people in my circle. They felt that I was disrespecting the country, and they didn't care to understand why I was doing it. Senior year came around, and I felt that I had no one. Senior year was the worst year because it was the loneliest year. The night before I graduated, we had a mass and dinner with our whole class and their parents. The class president made a speech crying about how much those 4 years meant to her, and then she played a slideshow of our whole 4 years there. I remember people at their tables reminiscing about their time and laughing about the good old times, and I just sat there. I didn't feel any of that. I didn't remember the good times because I didn't have any to remember, but I do remember people telling me that police brutality didn't exist anymore, and that there's not a lot of racial inequality anymore. My favorite conversation was when I was talking to a boy whose dad was a cop, and I told him, I don't want to be another hashtag. And someone shouted out, hashtag ImaniDocRough. I felt like all those high school movies were a lie, and that I was robbed of something that should have been special.